What's up guys, Pippin here, and I've got another ranked game for you, and once again I'm jungling, this time one of my old favorite junglers, Cho'Gath. Now, a while back Cho'Gath got some playability buffs. They fixed his timing on his knockup. I think they gave his ult a little bit more range, but he saw a huge jump in the amount that he was played. But since then, I haven't really seen him that much at all, and I don't know why, because he's pretty great, and you can see he clears pretty quickly. I get down into this bush before 3 minutes, and certainly Rammus didn't expect that. He's going to roll straight into the knockup, and red buff is actually going to finish him off. And so that's first blood for us, and a refresh of double buffs as well. We can go in, take a camp of his for our own. And yeah, this is a ranked game. Like I said, I'm Diamond 4 in this game, so should be all high plats to medium diamonds. And now we're headed to top lane. We start off with the silence, but we don't see a clean knock-up until they're pretty far away, and we're not actually going to get a kill off that, just Jace's flash. But you'll also notice I'm running Ghost on my jungle Cho'Gath. I prefer it to flash, because it allows you to pretty much run from whatever camp you're killing straight to whatever lane needs your help. And it gets you there fast enough a lot of the time to intervene in a fight after the laner has, say, used his escape, or just before they're going to kill your team. So right here, we can ghost, through the ward, and they really don't have much time to react. And so Tristana ends up burning her flash, and we get the kill on Zara. So all our buffs have respawned. We want to give this one to Zara. And this is where Cho'Gath's jungle starts to go a bit awry. Once you lose your blue buff, you still have okay mana sustain, as long as you don't use your Q and W very often. You can level up Q without losing mana, but not W, and if you actually use them both, you're going to lose a lot of mana. So once you give your blue buff away, your jungle actually kind of slows down. And I unknowingly walked through a ward there to try and get bottom lane, so they just beat in the middle of lane, knowing exactly where I was. So we go mid, chasing people off. And now we're hunting again, because we have red buff. We find a fight in top lane, and really good taunt there by Rammus that Zed should have died. Jace even had flash up, but not his fault because he was taunted. But still, we get one kill, and Zed has to go home. So we're going to take our free turret, push our lane for the experience, and go home. And yeah, if you've noticed the white mana bars on my characters, I have no idea why that is. My newer replays don't have this problem. And it seems to be in the replay itself. Changing settings didn't help at all. And here we go, we're going to use Ghost. He's going to flash, but it really doesn't matter. And that's the strength of Ghost. Normally, you'd only get one. With Flash, you only get one movement speed increase, so to speak. You get to move one flash distance. So if they have flash and an escape, then you can't really catch them. With Ghost, you're moving fast for so long that there's really no way they can escape. And when you have red buff up at the same time, it's basically going to be guaranteed that you catch up and slow them, even if you miss your Q. And you saw Jace actually was able to pick up that kill, which was good. We're going to do a bunch of damage to Zed there. Can't quite get the kill. But it does let us push a bit, unfortunately. They're gonna engage on us, and Teemo actually has barrier. And another really good taunt by Rammus there. You can see Xerath had one more charge of his ult up to finish that Teemo, but he just couldn't do it because Teemo was because he was taunted by Rammus actually. So we don't get anything there. But we find Zed seemingly alone in the jungle. Really good ult there by the Zed. He actually dodged my Q by going invisible with his ult. And then he comes back, baits me in, dodges my Q. And Xerath does pick up the kill, but since he came in so late, it ended up being in their favor, 1 for 2. So the game is still in our favor in terms of golds and turrets. And now we're just gonna try and roam bottom, because that's the only outer turret that's left up. And we're giving Graves red, and Dragon's also up. So lots of objectives possible in bot lane. We can see Teemo's at least got one mushroom here. And Rammus gets a little too close. He's going to get stunned, silenced, and Xerath is going to start laying down some good damage. We kill him, but unfortunately, Zed is able to get in on the 80 carry, and only now does Jace show up. He had to run all the way from top lane, I think. We turn around and get a Teemo kill, since we were going to die from mushroom anyway. But once again, even though we're ahead, we're not quite doing it in team fights, even though we're often outnumbered. So we're just picking bad spots to fight, or not fighting together, and very slightly losing these team fights, even though we still have a decent gold advantage. Here my team is going to fight 3v5. I'm going to burn Ghost to try and get in there, but our support is going to die before I can get there, and our Jace is pretty low on health. So we're just going to throw some pokes out. Not actually going to get anybody. And now we actually burn several ults to try and steal Dragon, and we don't. Good ward here on blue buff actually lets me Smite steal it, which is pretty nice. The other problem with losing blue buff on Cho'Gath is not just a slowdown on the jungling speed, but you want your ult up as much as possible to try and get to 6 stacks as quickly as possible. One of the main ideas of playing a tanky jungler is that it doesn't take too much gold to get pretty tanky, and Cho'Gath is especially good at this since his ult gives a lot of free HP. Which is actually one of the problems with Cho'Gath if you're not doing very well. If you can't keep your stacks up, you're not going to be tanky enough. And Rammus rolls straight into my Q there and just gets destroyed by Xerath. And actually this is not something that usually happens with Cho'Gath, but if you can land those max range Qs and your team has a lot of poke, which mine does this game, you can already see we just got 2 kills just off of my Qs. And this time though, we're going to try and turret dive, and we're going to barely survive that one, losing 1 for nothing. And yeah, just remember to use your ult before you go back, if you still have stacks on it, as long as you're sure you're not being chased. You don't want to use your ult on the way out, because then it would take too long before the team fight starts. So try and use it right before you go back, if possible. So anyway, we've got some wards around Dragon, so we're gonna, or Baron, and we're gonna push up mid. And they're going to engage on us with Rammus. Tarek's taking a lot of damage, which is good. We burn our ult on Zed to try and kill him. But now our team is making a mistake of focusing Rammus, and he's just going to roll away. We do burn Zyra's flash, but I was pretty much tanking Tristana that whole time, hoping my team would go in on her eventually. Zyra comes back in with no flash and dies, which is a mistake. But Tristana is going to flash out of the bush. I don't know why he was standing around there, pretty much waiting to die. But now, I expected Xerath to do the stun combo there, and maybe get the kill. Don't know if it was on cooldown, or if he was just scared, but either way, he is going to eventually get the kill and die. And the game, our gold lead is not really increasing, since we're kind of losing these team fights a bit. And actually, we steal Dragon there, I assume, yeah, with Graves' ult. So nice steal there. Pretty much negates the lost team fight before it, since we didn't lose any turrets or objectives off it. And now, we're just going to kind of dance around Baron. Cho'Gath is an excellent Baron taker. Ult plus Smite is just impossible to steal Baron from. And Zyra is going to make a big mistake there. She just wanted to ward. Maybe was scared we were even doing Baron. But we were actually just waiting for her. And actually there is a pink ward on Baron. So I don't know where she thought that we were. But we get Baron. Zed was waiting outside to steal it, but there's no way that he could. We're going to pop Ghost here. And once again, you can knock Cho'Gath back. You can do whatever. Once he's ghosted at you, you're just not going to escape. Zyra blows ult to try and stop us, but this turret and inhibitor are ours. Now we get to go home and buy juicy items. So now we have a huge lead, really. We've got Baron buff, we got an inhibitor down, we have a 7.5k gold lead. Xerath is going to split push bot lane. So we actually only have 3 people up here. Although Tristana just tried to fight Xerath and lost. You don't want to get cocky as an AD carry if you're not fed. The Tristana was 1-4 at that point, and Xerath has his armor passive, so really a bad fight to pick there. So Xerath is going to push bottom, and we're just kind of trying to keep them out of Xerath's way. But I get a little too close, and they're going to pretty much hard engage on us. Rammus is going to taunt Taric. I'm just going to run in and slow everyone, knock up Tristana. I realize I'm going to die, so I just ult Zed, try and do as much damage as possible. And we do kill 2, but it was the jungler and the support. And Zed gets away and goes home. But Teemo comes back in and gets sniped. He pretty much had to try. If they lose this inhibitor, they're pretty much going to lose the game. So they try and defend it, aren't able to. And this is pretty much it. We're so far ahead now that even if we just went home, we would come back and win 99% of the time. So yeah, that was Jungle Cho'Gath. He's especially good if your team has CC that you can combo with your own CC. He's also good with Ghost if the enemy team has escapes, because you can just wait on your CC until you get to them. So yeah, go use some Jungle Cho'Gath.